never been. That I've never been.
Walking on the moon.
Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to Women's League Season 2, Week 3. My name is Cthulhu. I'm joined once again by wonderful Pi. How you doing?
Hello. I'm doing good, thanks, Cthulhu. I had actually a really busy day where I went out and about wearing my mask, of course. How's your day been?
I mean, look, Auckland is back into lockdown as well, so we are joining kind of the general world trend, I suppose. Apart from that,
One
no,
of
just
us.
yeah, one of us. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, apart from that, not just keen and ready to get into the matches for Women's League tonight. It is going to be a very spicy set of matches that we are going to be seeing. But for the time being, quick mention as well from one of our sponsors. It's ZQ MVP prize for the player, the MVP player of the team that is going to win the whole season. They will be getting the nice V6 Racer gaming chair, which is a pretty nice, very quality prize that one of the girls can really win out here. So, first match, though. Let's take a look at that. It is Elevate versus Exto Gaming Aqua. Two rosters that so far are looking fairly strong on the leaderboard. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, 100%. You're getting the team that's ranked first right now, Elevate, versus the third ranked team, which is Exos. And both have very similar scores when it comes to win-loss ratios. EXO only has one loss right now, whereas Elevate, obviously has been the unbeatable team, the dominating one. So it'd be really interesting to see how two giants face off against each other.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the first, I suppose, giant in this matchup. That is going to be, I believe, Elevate. That we'll be looking at their roster. It is Quartari, Lola, Aussie Princess, Sav, Serenity, and Crescent to be the sub or the sixth player for the roster. Any kind of noteworthy thing that so far we've been able to witness here from them?
Well, the last time they were actually on stream when we casted one of their games, it was on Oregon, and we seen them pull out an incredible 7-0 match where Lola was the top fragger, the one to keep your eyes on. I believe she went 13-3, being, hitting double digits isn't easy in any game. To hit it in such a competitive based game is quite a noteworthy act.
Yeah, it's definitely we saw some quality plays from her. And yeah, like you mentioned, the 7-0, that's already quite a scoreline to flex. But let's take a look at the challenges today. The team that will be challenging Elevate for that unbeatable spot, that is Exto Gaming Aqua, the roster that so far has been, that is currently at the third place on the leaderboard. Repel, Omnom, Time for Pie, Boucher, Fish Noodle, and Oats as a sub. Any kind of thoughts here as well, maybe, Pie?
Well, from what we've seen on Exo Gaming, they all have very evenly distributed skill level amongst their team. The last time we seen them, they all had equal potential to outshine each other. And that's something you really want in a team, to have a balance of skill so you can not get stressed or panicked when one of your teammates falls early.
Yeah, their composure has been definitely quite something to note about. But for now, let's take a look at the map bands and the map that we are going to be seeing tonight. It is going to be Clubhouse, the map that you got actually fairly excited as well to see. I'm quite a fan of seeing some Clubhouse action as well, as it allows a few avenues to really play around. Any kind of maybe thoughts slash predictions on what could we see scoreline wise?
Well, so we actually put a poll out onto Twitter. It was done from the handle XPEsports TV, and you guys told us that the expected winners this time would be, it would be Elevate, winning by a 66.7%, leader. So obviously the ones to win this time are Elevate. However, that doesn't really discount what EXO can bring, what EXO can show. But I do think we might be seeing some close scores, maybe like a 7-3, 7-4 to Elevate side.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, a 7-3 is certainly something that we could potentially witness here, albeit I still do think that Exto Gaming Aqua could really bring in the heat here. But let's quickly take a peek at the Clubhouse itself as well. It is going to be Elevate to actually kick things off on the attack, and we are just going to be getting straight right into it. Curious, actually, even how things will start off, even on the bans side, as even throughout me and Milboss, we mentioned that during High School League that they have been developing kind of almost their own meta. With Women's League, they were getting somewhat closer to the Pro League level, to that kind of the higher echelon of Siege gameplay. So maybe some rather more conventional bans we will be seeing here.
Yeah, you know, seeing that Maverick ban come out first from Elevate isn't a big surprise. Maverick and Thatcher are two of the hottest bans that you would want to see on Clubhouse. Maverick to deny his line of sight holes that he could open up and potential for a Maverick trick. And actually Jackal coming out on the second ban. Interesting choice from Aqua's point of view, or interesting choice coming up from Elevate's point of view actually. Probably to deny any roaming or potentials, just so that I guess Elevate know that they want to abuse roaming. So with the Jackal ban, they could, you know, freely swap on into like a Vigil, a Cav maybe, to just roam around the building.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Elevate were very proactive on their plays, on their movement throughout a multitude of their matchups that we already seen. So having that Jackal is definitely going to make things a whole lot easier, albeit that there's still that very painful combo to deal with, you could say, being the Line and the Dokkaebi combo. But I suppose in this very matchup, bringing in both of those operators will be quite a huge sacrifice to some of the utility that could be used further down the line.
Yeah, and I was actually just going to comment, you know, you rarely see a Thatcher ban slide through in games like these competitive games.
Also true, yeah.
So to not run a Thatcher is to just throw away such a great operator. You know, you always hear about that 20-second meta that is pretty much in the last 20 seconds of the round, all the kills happen, all the pushes onto site happen, maybe the bomb gets placed as well. But with the presence of an IQ Thatcher, that 20-second meta is not as prevalent, purely because of the amount of that gadget denial that's available. It's just, you know, we shouldn't really be seeing a 20-second meta happening.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't get as strong of a showcase with Thatcher, especially if you say bring in, say, a Thatcher and maybe a Kali, if you definitely don't want to see any kind of enemy utility being used up, especially after the fact that Kali's Lancer Lance got buffed, I believe, on its fuse time. So it's still a very, very valuable piece of utility and would be very well used. But from looking at the general lineup of Elevate, it tells me that they are going to be going for quite a momentum-based, almost an aggressive push with so much fragging potential from all of these loadouts.
Yeah, you pretty much got a perfect team lineup out from Elevate. You have Lola on that entry breach. She's already in. She's pushing through dirt. That's control given to them straight away.
I'm curious how will Fish Noodle actually will deal with that, because I'm pretty sure she is not aware about that push by Lola, and that could be very deadly. She's already creeping up right on the staircase. No information whatsoever. Fish Noodle about to go in, and I just miss out on that frag, but nonetheless, a frag is a frag, off screen or not, but that's a solid beginning here. Although, a bit of a hiccup there on Lola, and Boshe will be the one to grab the refrag.
Yeah, and I just want to point out, this is very good positioning on Exo Gaming's behalf, because yes, you lose a kill in the early start. Boshe getting a double kill on the Katari. Did she get a triple kill? Ooh. No, she gets shut down by Sarah. But that was still, you know, an excellent double kill by Boshe, and you really want your defenders to be sort of clustered up between 1 to 2 seconds of distance between each other, so you can get those refrags. So if one team member dies, it's not all in vain. You can still recover from that.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, it's still a 3 versus 3 situation. Time for Pi still has 2 of those bandit batteries, so with already all the EMPs being completely extinguished here by Sav, things are definitely going to be a whole lot tougher here for any kind of breach attempt. So maybe Saren's push from down below could maybe solve the problem, but so many guns already aimed at so many positions that I don't think Elevate will really have a whole lot of chances or possibilities to really make the push.
Yeah, time for Pi on this bandit. She gets pushed out from suicide window. She takes a few dangerous shots, but she's still alive.
Somehow, that's a magical kind of thing that she's still alive with that slither of health, but maybe Saren's push from behind through bedroom and bedroom hallway could really make things work, as Aussie Princess will be trying to go in for the push onto the rafters. A dual push, albeit a little bit fragile, is going to be pretty quickly shut down, so from here on it's a 2v3.
Things aren't really looking good for Elevate. That was a very interesting choice to push the rafters by yourself as a thermite against the... I assume they knew it was a dock at the start, because Lola actually put some shots into Omno at the start. So it's... You rarely see something like that happen unless you're getting hot drones or unless you have better angles opened up. Aqua getting that double kill instantly, wrapping with her smoke, time for Pine, straight last kill. That was very well done.
Yeah, good lockdown, solid ability to recover even after the first block going into the hands of Elevate, and well, it's looking like a solid start here for Exto, and potentially they might just be able to grant themselves a fair few points before they move on to the second half.
Yeah, and this is what you want. Having those early rounds on defense nabs you that extra confidence and momentum to carry over onto when the rounds swap, and it's really something that you want.
Yeah. Momentum is certainly a huge thing. I mean, even in the other tournaments like LPL Pro, we've seen plentiful amount of times when teams gain themselves such strong momentum that they're not even planning to stop and pull out a 7-0 or 7-1, which is a huge kind of scoreline to really bring out. And even with Elevate, they were able to bring out some very one-sided scorelines in their favor. So here for Exto, if they're able to run away with that kind of momentum, that is going to be huge.
Quite interested to see that double Rook and Dot combo come out. It's rare you see that with their ACOGs. A lot of the times when you do see it, it's in ranked when people are trying to cheese a spawn peak or nab an angle that is really advantageous towards the defenders. So I'll be keen to see if Omnom or Boshe actually capitalize on this. Though I do think why they picked Omnom. Normally, however, it's not really a Rook. Possibly for the impacts, it's actually a really common thing to try impact tricking from below, so that when, you know, Kotari's Habana charges get placed, or even Aussie's Thermite charge, yeah, and I see the holes being opened up looking for an impact trick. If you throw an impact grenade, it actually can break the attacker's gadget, hence tricking the thing that you want. A lot of times, however, you'll see like a Legion or a Vigil or something, not commonly a Rook though.
Yeah, I mean, Rook is not a bad idea per se, but yeah, we'll have to definitely agree is definitely not a usual sighting. Usually it's something like either a Legion or a Maestro, maybe even, since Maestro has the impacts as well now. So yeah, there's it's odd to say at the very least, but talking about an odd angle as well, there's that long one that you were mentioning as well in the prep phase that Boshe nearly was able to grant herself a frag, at the very least some damage onto Sat.
And it's that damage, they can't heal it up, they don't have a dock, whereas Vishnu was able to get healed up with an excellent spin charge from Boshe.
Yeah, precisely. Well, already Saren took a little bit of damage as well from that gunfight, and for now, Exto Gaming are definitely looking pretty swell there, ready to take some more gunfights there. Fishnoodle is in a very powerful position, so is Boshe, so could be that they can lock down the whole entrance into the building fairly early into the round.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. Oh, they actually have Kitchen Hatch open. I was just gonna ask, is Kitchen Hatch open? Because I've seen both impact grenades from Omnom missing. I assume maybe she threw them in an attempt to stop Kotari from opening it, but I don't think it quite worked. It takes a little bit of timing to, you know, get that down.
Oh, there goes the push. Oh, Fishnoodle just a little bit more precise on her peaks, running out of ammo, quite unfortunately, and will be falling into Saren's hands. Another flick to come through, but it's Bosch that will be grabbing herself the win, and another trade as well. It's a trade central right here, and we are back to a 3 versus 3 here, just like round number 1.
But this is so good for Aqua. You know, 2 of the entry frags from Elevate were taken down instantly during that trade. Lol and Saren can't do much. They can't gun down anymore. And it's really up to Kotari and Sav and Aussie, 2 of the members who are already missing some health, to try and take this round back.
It's going to be quite a tall order there. And already Time for Pi trying to get rid of the X-Kairos, but at the very same time will be paying with her life. Repel, fantastic once again, gas grenade to get rid of the Hibana, and now it's a very one-sided push all of a sudden with Sav and Aussie pushing from the very same position. Aussie does actually manage to find a shot, so now it's all down to Repel. 10 seconds remaining, and the plant will be starting to get going down. Aussie is on a sliver of health, meanwhile Repel is still very much healthy, but a single headshot should solve that problem.
Raffle gets a neat headshot onto Aussie. Now it's just a 1v1 between Raffle and Sav. Sav needs to Raffle needs to defuse that bomb. She gets the kill onto Sav. Crazy control of that SMG-11 recall. I was so well done by Raffle. She managed to get that bomb defused, and this round is going to go to Aqua.
Very nicely done, yeah. Raffle able to really keep Elevate on their toes, keep them continuously questioning as to where the push, where the peak could be coming out from. A few of those hiccups were there and that nearly resulted in her own demise, but ultimately she was the one to run away with a dub there for herself.
Yeah, when it was looking like that 1v2 between Raffle and the Thatcher and the Thermite, I honestly thought Elevate was going to have that round in the bag, because it's so difficult to clutch a round when you have Smoke's gun, which is not as good as the ARs that the attackers have. But to clutch that out with no smoke canisters left in the bag as well, it's very good job.
Yeah, definitely we'll have to agree on that. Well, Elevate will be prompting to attempt to now push gym and bedroom that will be set up by Exto Gaming. And Exto are bringing in just about as simple of a lineup of the defenders as it can get for the gym setup. They have the castle, they have the bandit, the smoke and the Jaeger, and a Legion to kind of get the icing on the cake, I suppose.
Yeah, and you see a pretty standard lineup coming from Elevate as well. I do want to say though, on round one, I didn't really mention it that much because the kills happen so fast, but actually Kotari and Saren, the Buck and I think Sledge it was, or it was a Buck and, no, it was a Buck and the Ash, yes. Those were the first two kills that actually died, and normally those are the verticalities, those are the operators with the verticalness that you need to open up the lower bandit trigger. And because they didn't have that, it really halted their push so hard where Aussie couldn't thermite open the wall. In this case, there's a similar wall as well on Spa where I assumed Time for Pi would need to bandit trick it. I'm surprised they're leaving 60 on main boards, that's odd. But a lot of times you want to flush out that bandit trigger from below their feet so that your Thermite and your Thatcher can get their effectiveness off. Otherwise, you know, Time for Pi could just... It's not a hard feat to trick against that.
Yeah. Well, talking about the round at hand here, it certainly is quite odd, partially, that the CCTV wall is not reinforced, but it seems that Elevate are not really minding that much at all, really. They just want to get the breach onto the west wall going, and well, for that very thing to happen, they need to either get rid of those... Ooh, hello. Yep. They need to get rid of the castle barrack, and that was a solid idea by Saren, but unfortunately they did not waste that ADS. There we go, another flashbang and another frag grenade to potentially fly in. Nope, just flashbangs to force them off the position, and Lola off screen. Fantastic already, good frag onto Fish Noodle. That is the roamer as well of Exa.
Yeah, that's the Jaeger done and dusted, and that gives them additional pressure for this. Taking the damage, can they get that thermite wall open? I believe so, yes, it is indeed open. Time for Pi needs to back away, otherwise she's going to get a really clean shot. But they have that breach open, which is so important. Kotari gets that headshot onto Roche. That's the castle gone.
Yeah, well, the castle gone and bandit, actually, matter of fact. Things are certainly going to be now all looking like it could be all in favor for Elevate. Only 2 players remaining against the onslaught of 5, and things are certainly not looking that pretty here.
Elevate with that final 2 kills. It was actually a flawless round on Elevate's behalf. No deaths happening on Elevate. I think that was a very well coordinated push. You know, they got that breach open. They had 2 other members on alternate angles, flanking up those main stairs, catching anyone on Aqua unguarded and by surprise, pretty much. So it's a very clean push, and they deserve that flawless round.
Yeah, and The better thing as well about the third round is that they did not allow Exto to run away with a full flawless set of 3 rounds. So at the very least, they will be breaking that pace. Only a single round differential now before they can draw it out. And CCTV is going to be a retry for the push, where they should have now a better understanding as to how Exto are approaching the plays, the pace, and the general kind of positioning as well.
Yeah, so this time, try to advise away from getting your 2 vertical breaches dying first, and I think Elevate has really got a good shot at this. Otherwise, if they get might be a rehost coming in place.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs
We
as they
might
can.
just actually see a rehost.
First rehost of the season, actually, if I'm wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, so we are going to be going into a bit of a rehost just to get things on the roll once again. Hopefully this will be a quicker one comparative to the one that we had with the high school league. But hey, maybe that just gives some time for the Elevator and the Exto players to just maybe hydrate themselves, maybe get up and running, maybe get some of that quantum energy goodness as well, just to get it in, get it running, and just feel refreshed, feel focused.
Maybe Sav's computer needed some of that to not crash.
Some liquid quantum cooling.
Wonder what that would be like.
We might be onto something, yeah.
An energy drink for your computer. But scores 2-1 right now. Elevate, the fan favorite, actually not doing as well as what we thought. If Aqua actually continues this momentum, they might actually have Clubhouse in the bag for them. Any thoughts on that, Cthulhu?
Honestly, I reckon we might just actually see maybe at the very least maybe a draw, but I'll probably reserve my kind of final judgment, I think, till we see maybe a few more rounds from the second half, maybe, when Elevator will get to defend, because usually a fair few times and a fair few teams have a few struggles with getting themselves started on some of the attack rounds, and then defense is the one that where they get kind of fully activated, you could say.
Yeah, I feel like especially for a map like Clubhouse, there's so many conditions that you need to fulfill when you're on attack. You need to, clear this, clear that, open this, open that, do this. Whereas on defense, you can set up your entire setup and you just hold your angles, and you could most likely come out on top unless you die without fragging, or retrading, I mean. But actually, speaking of retrading, I just want to say, both Aqua and Elevate have shown amazing amounts of refragging. Like, I think this is the most we've seen all season, pretty much, where when one dies, the other gets the instant kill. And I love seeing that, because it means that these teams have practiced, these teams have coordination. They're not pushing solo by themselves. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, the coordination is certainly there. It's certainly looking like the general chemistry is also settling in really nicely for both of the teams, as a matter of fact. I mean, even the last round number 3, is already another thing to really talk about, as well as just Elevate were able to coordinate a flawless round. So yeah, we're just checking if teams are now ready, as we already got everyone back in. Okay, so we just gonna wait a couple more moments. But yeah, honestly, yeah, I love to see the coordination, the pacing that both of the teams are able to exercise, and yeah, it's a good sight.
Yeah, it's the sight for sore eyes, pretty much. I don't get it happen a lot of times in my ranked games, so it's really good to see these competitive girls really step it up to the next level.
Yeah. So we are gonna just take a little bit of a longer break, as I just realized that I believe the lobby is a little bit little bit cooked there, medium rare on the side. But yeah. Elevate, I reckon they might be able to run away with a draw here, but I don't think that either one of the teams will be able to nab themselves a huge advantage in the first half at the very least.
It won't be an easy win, that's for sure, if Elevate are able to pull it through. I'd be interested to see how Aqua take this on the attack, because it is a lot harder on attack than defense for pretty much any map. So it'd be interesting to see how strong of a defense Elevate has set up and how clear-cut of an attack Aqua will choose to get. But these early rounds that Aqua have in defense are helping them, because they could lose a few attacking rounds and it wouldn't be a big deal, because they have this early advantage that Elevate need to work hard to catch up on.
Yeah, the moment there's going to be some sort of the large advantage, say 2 points and up, this is where kind of few questionable moments will be kind of seen. But apart from that, I think that this is going to be a bit of a back and forth from here on.
Tussle.
Yeah. But yeah, only time will show, I suppose.
100%.
All right, just getting the final double check. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, it's a few technical difficulties. It's there's no kind of Siege broadcast, I suppose, without a few technical issues. But we'll roll with the punches. We'll get things going. Cool. All in. And we're back onto Clubhouse. That is round number 4. And we are going to be continuing with the attack of Elevate.
Attack of Elevate. The bans are in. Just to remind everyone, that's Maverick, Jackal, Mirror, and Echo. Exo Aqua picking the same CCTV site. Similar lineup coming out. No changes on either side, pretty much. Apart from Cortari, no 6-pick this time. She went straight onto the buck. Yeah,
just deciding to really not even really bother with showcasing anything. But honestly, I like the idea of Buck, albeit that probably I'm more so of a favor towards Zofia, just because for her utility it's a bit more remote, you could say, and has a little bit more used to it rather than just soft breaching. But Buck is definitely going to make things a whole lot tougher. That is, if that kind of the ground floor lobby control is taken into a firm control by the attack.
Yeah, you really need to secure that lounge control before any of your vertical attackers can gain an advantage from using their gadgets, because if Fish Noodle is guarding lounge just as securely as she was last time, I think it would be a bit of a bloodbath to get yourself in. There might be some trades, some refrags happening, and out of those deaths, you really don't want your Buck to be the one that's dead.
Yeah, losing Buck early into the round is certainly going to hurt quite a fair bit for the attack, if they will lose him out without him using any ammo on his skeleton key. I'm curious how will Lola actually play out this round, because last time we saw her actually just rush through the dirt tunnel and just get some early ground and early first blood, but she got traded out pretty quickly. It seems for the time being she will be going in for the push through the freezer and the kitchen, where Boshe is actually awaiting for any kind of push.
I didn't see any drones in front of Lola. I hope they're not going into this blind.
I would hope that they're not face-checking all the angles. It certainly looks like it, and she will be missing out on that one. My Boshe, fantastic beginning, but a very nice, very clean shot through the wall by Cortari.
Cortari get the second. Cortari gets the second kill onto Fish Noodle, and that's that lounge control secured for Aqua. This is not good for Elevate. Oh, sorry. This isn't good for Aqua.
Are the ones, this is not good for Aqua. Yeah, the Elevate are definitely going to be quite happy about that fact. With the breach also coming through in just short of a minute after the round began. A bit of a standoff there between Aussie Princess and Omnom is going to be there from rafters and the balcony, respectively. But apart from that, really, yeah, Exto are going to be a little bit struggling on the ground to keep a hold of it, rather.
Yeah, Kotari knows her angle as well, you know, in lounge. Oh, Aussie gets down from an angle in garage, that ACOG coming in. As I was saying, you know, Kotari knows her angle. She should be able to go underneath, back into lounge and open up some spaces in that cash room. Don't think she's going for it. Omnom gets a double kill onto Sav. She's unstoppable. You can just heal herself right back up as if nothing ever happened.
Exactly. With Repel also finding a kill onto Saren, things for Kotari are definitely now starting to get even rougher now, given that she is all alone against the 3 members of Exto Gaming Aqua. And this is going to be quite a tall order, given that, well, all of the Exto Gaming players are very able and very good at those swings, just as showcased by Time for Pi. And just like that, another round for Exto's advantage.
Yeah, and it started off on such a strong foot for Elevate, getting those early picks off onto so that lounge control was secured, so that the so Kotari on Buck could open up some angles. I didn't see a lot of angles opened up. I only saw the most default angles to deny the bandit trigger coming out. There are a lot more angles that you can do to pretty much cover the entire floor of both bomb sites. So it's a bit disappointing to see that not being capitalized on.
Yeah. Interesting pick by Kotari to swap off from Buck onto Nook. For the church push, I'm not too sure if I'm sold on that idea, but at the same time, if Nook is able to sneak in, say, through the garage into the oil pit and then try to wreak some havoc from there whilst being sneaky, I could see that actually work out.
Depends. A lot of teams, when they hold this church site, there will be some rafter presence in garage or maybe cache or CCTV. So I'd be interested to see if either Boche or Omnom will use their ACOGs and hold like a really aggressive angle up there. In which case, Kotari coming through as Knock will just get... She won't have a fun time.
She could very easily get bullied, especially with the fact that she doesn't have the access to the ACOG, unlike with Buck choice. And her gun isn't particularly good on the DPS as well, so you know, whenever she would be trying to get into some of those longer range gunfights, it's certainly going to be putting her at quite a disadvantage. So yeah, curious how will that choice work out. We saw a couple of the Nook picks, but they were ultimately just mainly for the frag grenade kind of choice.
Recovered the diffuser.
Yeah, Kotari's going for right through. Yeah, I love this cave angle. You know, one clay charge can get actually 2 reinforced walls, which is 2 in 1. Who doesn't like that? No easy breach into death this time. Interesting to see.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Interesting to see Boshi actually holds such close quarters. Lola getting that headshot onto Vishnu. Excellent early frag onto that. Can she get a double kill? She does! That's the Doc stim's gone. And I was just going to say, it's so interesting to see a Doc holding such a close quarters sort of thing where normally you would actually have someone like Vishnu on Jaeger holding it because it's just so beneficial to swing and to have a holo instead of an ACOG. But
yeah, I mean, either way, it worked out pretty well for Lola, at least for the most of it. She is on a slither of health, which is not really helping her out quite a lot, but nonetheless, a frag is a frag. It's a 3v5, so Exto is certainly going to be struggling a little bit for the ground, but they still have Repel with all 3 of her gas grenades, and she was able to lock down previously the site really nicely. And another C4 could be flying out, but to no avail, so for now, it's another avenue opened up for Exto Gaming. Elevate, rather.
yeah, the double E's are really like getting to us, aren't they? I just see 2 ways. I'm like, which one is it?
E. E is getting the win over E.
Yes, E. So let's try getting that garage control. She gets that camera. Not sure if they spotted her out. She shot it, so they would know that someone's there, but not sure if they knew it was her if she was in this.
Neither really. Well, for the time being, the contest between the 2 teams at who will have the chance at keeping the title of E will continue. It's time for Pi trying to fend off the push from the oil pit. Same goes for Rappel, as now they are completely unsuspecting the fact that there is just about to be a breach into the church.
Not what you want to happen. Both Tekopai and Rappel. What?
Oh my god.
Rappel showing
Rappel.
us once again that her gun is not to be laughed at. She gets a beautiful double kill off before being finished off by Saren, but that was excellent to see that.
Yeah, that was. It's always a beautiful kind of thing to witness whenever you get a really nice SMG-11 spray down, and just make sure that you get that kind of the double kill as well. So, or well, multi kill in that, for that matter. So, yeah, no, it's a solid start. Again, Elevate are able to really close down and shut down the site. This time it's on Church, so now they just need to muster up all of their might to maybe eventually, sometime later, maybe in another matchup, to figure out how to approach CCTV. But for the time being, it's going to be a Church retry.
I'm a bit disappointed to see no 6 picks coming out from EXO Aqua Gaming. I am a huge believer that a 6 pick in competitive play could really change how the enemy thinks and how they will play against you with that unknown factor, because, you know, both lineups of attack and defense is actually revealed at the end, which means that they could probably like make a counter strategy to whatever you want to achieve. And to not see a 6 pick coming out, maybe instead of having Boshi on that dock, maybe just to go, I don't know, like a Legion or a Valkyrie or something, and then to 6 pick onto dock, just to make Elevate maybe go on an IQ or something, just to waste an operator choice. I just feel like it's such a huge advantage that they're not taking advantage of.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to agree. A fair few times we do see a very, very nice mind game from one or another team. But yes, here it seems that just EXO just want to just take their opponents head on. They seem to be fairly confident in that regard, and it might bite back at them very quickly. Well, so will be, as that is a phenomenal angle that was held there by Lola. Quite an underrated as well angle, should I say, as it cuts off some nice amount of rotation as well from the roamers. But that now is certainly going to be making things a whole lot harder for Fishnoodle to even escape back to the safety of her own site.
Yeah, and to have your roam partner be shut down that early on in a round, it really puts Fishnoodle in such a tough position, because now she has no one to trade her up, no one to help her back anymore. She's going to pretty much do everything by herself.
Yeah, funnily enough, Lola barely lost, well, only lost just about maybe 25 HP, so she'll still be in a very competitive shape further down the line. And oh, hello, that's a frag. Kotari, fantastic roam hunt, albeit for on an operator that usually is preferred to be kept safe, but it seems that she wasn't really too phased about that. She still has a phenomenal gun, so I suppose not as much of an issue. Back to a 3v5 though, as Elevate are the ones once again to take the player count advantage.
Yeah, and I was actually talking to a friend the other day, and we were saying that Hibana is almost like a better version of Ashe, if you want to think about it like that. She has a better gadget that's more team-orientated, because it can open hard surfaces, and she's got a great gun that shoots incredibly fast. Obviously, if you miss the first clip, then that's all the bullets in your gun. But it's a much better gun than Ashe's, which fires a lot slower as well.
G36C is definitely, it's one of those kind of guns that it's nice, it's easier to control maybe sometimes on a recoil, but it's definitely a slower rate of fire, meaning slower DPS. But oh, that is a lot of damage being dealt. Lola with a triple already onto Rappel, all up to time for Pi to try to make it work. And well, she is on full health, but against 4 members of Elevate, not a whole lot of things can be done. That's another round and a draw for the first half.
There's an excellent comeback seeing Elevate, you know, take those attacking rounds back. They didn't give up those rounds at the start for free, you know, there's all hoarding them back in. And opening up that kitchen hatch just then netted Lola so many free kills. She could see the legs of 2 members on Aqua. It's not what you want to happen. You know, once that kitchen hatch even gets approached, you need to have the cores ready for your team so that they can retreat to areas that are safe from that kitchen hatch, because it just offers so much ground for them to view it out.
Oh yeah, so much ground, and almost sometimes hard to really even predict as to when they're going to be peaking, because like you've seen from Lola's perspective, only feet was seen of Repel, and she couldn't have a single clue as to maybe they didn't have the angle, or maybe they did have the angle, and well, only through the amount of the sheer amount of damage that she copped there was she able to figure out that the damage is there.
Yeah, I believe once you open actually kitchen hatch on that entire B bomb site, the only thing that's safe is those AP racks next to the dirt tunnel. I'm not sure if that's really precise, but those black boxes on the very right, that's the only place that's safe pretty much. Every other crate is virtually exposed with your feet, and it's just not something going to happen. And once that hatch actually gets open, you really have to pull your forces back onto like blue or church just to not get picked off like that.
10
Well,
seconds
yeah.
to insertion.
Well, for now, we are going to be seeing an iteration of the Church defense from Elevate this time, as they were able to grant themselves the third point to even out the scoreline in the first half. So, slightly changed lineup. No more of the ACOG duo. Instead, like you mentioned before, a Legion to be brought on board, as well as a Mozzie, who, first time in this matchup, will be actually seeing himself appear.
I'm surprised I didn't see an IQ pick coming out from Aqua. You know, with Kotari on that Valk, with Asarin on the Legion, and with Lola on the Mozzie, having an IQ would really benefit any gadget spotting that you want to do, and they certainly have a lot of gadgets to spot on Elevate.
Actually, I want to get your opinion on that. We have been seeing an occasional appearance of Twitch here. Now, in the current meta, with so many ways to counter really the drones, with Mute, with Mozzie, and just generally just shooting them, do you reckon that Twitch maybe so far seeing herself like a re-emergence, since that there's a need for like the counters for Thatcher bans, and well, just general lack of Thatcher rather?
I don't know. I personally believe that like a Thatcher IQ ban is a Thatcher IQ combo is a lot stronger than a Thatcher Twitch combo, just because her drones are really loud. She only gets 2 of them, and there's a really high delay time between each time she fires a bullet from her drone. And when you're countering that many gadgets, like Kotari has 3 cams, Saren has goo mines that will regen over time up to 7, and Lola starts off with 3 pests. As a Twitch, you're not getting a heap of value. And with Time for Pi, you need to drone out those gadgets before you can throw out any successful EMPs. Lola getting a dirty punch kill onto Fish Noodle.
Yeah, we'll be getting rid of her very quickly, and well, no more Twitch droning will be done. A few pre-fires might be happening to catch Qatari's face, but it seems that so far it's the gunfight that Lola would rather take with the Commando 9. Goes in for the swing, nearly just deals a little bit of damage, but it's Repel that is not going to be letting things roll away, and they are completely unaware that Qatari is still there, still on a prowl and ready to crash.
If anything, they should know she's in there now. She managed to take down Rappel, who was already really low health, but they know someone's available in stock. Pi makes a rotate out. She gets that pick onto Time for Pi, you know, the sound cue. It was a bait.
Yeah, that was a bait and a half that she pulled off, and that was a fantastic angle. Same goes for Sav as well. Complete shutdown. Boucher is the last player standing, and she will be definitely struggling to find any kind of closure in the next 17 seconds. We'll need to find 4 frags, or rather go in for the plant, and neither of those possibilities is certainly looking like it's on the table. There we go. Elevate, the 3rd round in a row here, looking to close their map out as quickly as possible now that they've started gaining the advantage in points.
Yeah, I feel like that round, you know, Elevate definitely deserve it. I also feel like Aqua tripped up a little. I wasn't actually paying attention to how many drones they had on in the field, but like one quick drone of Stockroom and you would see that there's at least 2 people in it, you know? Your drone would get shot or it would survive, but you would know that there's people in it, and you wouldn't just run past nilly-willy, just letting them get free bullets into you, and even a free kill. Like, it shouldn't take a death to get a kill, most times.
Preferably, yeah.
Preferably.
That would be the ideal kind of setup, yes, I suppose. But yeah, look, I feel that sometimes it could be some bad timing for some of the players. Sometimes it's just a series of unfortunate events. Let's just say that.
Wow, I see what you did there. But I was actually reading something like this, where in Siege, you know, you have so many set roles. You have your entry fragger, you have your second fragger, you have your flex, you have your double support. And I was seeing like the comparison, because a lot of people will say, you know, oh, but CSGO is a better game than Siege, and a lot of people will go, oh, but Siege is a better game than CSGO, because they both have teams with like very
10
similar
seconds remaining.
roles. Like you have your flex, you have your supporters, and you have your fraggers.
5 seconds.
But in Siege, it's so much more obvious because instead of like having a person as your entry fragger, you have a
Attacker's
drone.
objective is to
Like those
locate a
double
bomb
drones
and
that each
defuse it.
attacker has is nothing to laugh at. It's such a beneficial boon to them. And if you're not capitalizing on it, then you know you might as well be playing CS:GO.
Yeah, that's a pretty valid point. Yeah, on that whole debate, I'm not particularly sold on just the debate in general, because two of these titles, yes, they are two very competitive esports titles, but both of them offer quite a few different things. With CS, it's more so of just of momentum, of how you can coordinate and just kind of almost micromanage your whole team with the limited amount of utility that you do have. With Siege, there's slight complexity, slower pace in general, and it's a different almost play style that has to be introduced, even when you play a very aggressive kind of Siege.
Yeah, exactly. I do agree on that. Yeah. But you know, you need people to use gadgets for them to fully utilize the benefits of Siege. So just
To fully reap the rewards.
yeah.
A little bit of a dance here happening.
Speaking of gadget use, Stab dancing around with that bandit charge brochure,
Bomb
equally
located by attackers.
mirroring that. Bandit charges manage to get EMPs, and that's, I assume, a free war for brochure if she knows.
Yeah, I believe, yeah, it should be a pretty easy one. She's trying to listen in. Sav is obviously now has her ground cleared out because both of the frag grenades of Sledge have been used up, and no kind of vertical play that can be used here. Sav, being juked out here, needs to take off, and maybe the plant could be going down. Oh, meanwhile, it's Fish Noodle off the screen, actually able to handle the presence on the rafters. So that is the garage control now in full play, as there is a play from below coming out. Cortari, absolute nuts player, gets a double kill as well from the oil pit, and that gotta hurt for XPWL Gaming.
I don't think it was something that XO was expecting. You know, you need to have those drones on your flank watch, otherwise a vigil, even if the vigil is invisible, you get those little sight lines that like someone close by. 3-5 comes out, no real damage. Roche getting in. Roche is putting the plant down. Smokes are coming out, but they're not able to stop Roche. She managed to set that plant off. Yep, it's off.
Yeah, Lola, I believe, on the flank, trying to get some openings going and maybe on a run out, but to no avail just yet. It's all down to Time for Pie and Boshe, and even that is just quickly swept up. Saren and Sav, the double S combo here of Elevate, able to really bring in the heat and win out round number 4, as that is the 4th round in a row, as Elevate are just seeming to be now an unstoppable force.
Yeah, that's a really good regroup on Elevate's behalf to, you know, focus off their energy, to commit and to get those rounds in a row. That's really a great job done from Elevate. But like, it was so impressive to see Aqua getting that plant down despite their number disadvantage to, you know, after Cortari just goes for an oil pit flank, gets a double kill. That's such a disadvantage for them.
Oh yeah, that double kill flank was pretty much the deal breaker there, I would imagine, for for Elevate, because that slowed down the general push, the general momentum, and just overall kind of put another kind of variable for XPWL to really think about. Yeah,
I agree. Well, we're going to see the next site come out.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as
The
they can.
bedroom gym tank. Interesting enough to not see a castle on this. A lot of teams that we spectated for Clubhouse in this particular site, whether it's in this Women's League or in just general, you know, LPL Pro or something, they'll have a castle down just so the bandit Savvy is able to trip without the fear of like site being blown open. Even if there is a deployable shield, that could still get grenaded out. Even if it's an ADS, you could still fake it out with a bunch of flash grenades from Burst to, you know, burn that out. So having the additional
10
castle
seconds to
barricades just
insertion.
provides the bandit trigger a little bit more, room to breathe.
5 seconds left before
Yeah.
insertion.
Oddly enough, yeah, that the castle won't be present here, so
Attackers
I'm
must
curious
locate
for
and
how
defuse
long
the
will
bomb.
Sav stay safe here, given that, well, yeah, there is the flashbangs as well as the Zephyr and, matter of fact, the frag grenades from Repel. So Sav will definitely not going to be having a fun time because there's only a single ADS I can see that will be protecting the window into the gym, and even that, say you roll in a frag grenade through that drone hole, that's it. Pretty much GG, well played to Sav, as she will be sent back to the spectator screen.
And that's something I think Rappel's looking forward to doing. She's got that drone hole ready.
She wants to
no.
roll in that frag grenade. You can see them just lining up everything. But talking about lining up, it's Lola from the dirt tunnel. Absolutely naughty peek. We'll be getting rid of the thermite out of all the players, and now it's down to Omnom to try to get the breaches going.
Yeah, and that's something you really want teams to have, and is the presence of 2 hard breaches. Because let's just say your thermite dies in a freak accident, but still Omnom, who isn't as good, but able to still open up some of these angles that you need to get open.
Curious that the moment thermite died, they all moved around over to the CCTV wall to try to get that kind of the initial foothold, maybe somewhere over here, and maybe get a frag or two,
The attacker's bomb
similar to
diffuser
what
has been
Cortari
dropped.
probably had the idea for, but she bailed out fairly quickly the moment she realized that there's not going to be just a single person trying to contest her position.
Yeah, no flank through the oil pit this time for you, Kotari. They've got their eyes on you.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Yeah, for the time being, it's still a 4v5. Already 2 minutes, well, almost 2 minutes drained out with no real repercussions for Elevate. And seems that for the time being, they're just going to stick around to just holding all the angles and just draining out the time for as long as possible.
And that drone coming in, this is what I feel. Someone being popped in, they know that Aussie is there, that drone's there, trying to get some attraction. Time for Pi. Not managed to get the kill up on Elevate. It's very difficult to get the box on that. That's why ADS is well protecting that. Oh, the Fisher going for the flank, yes, Aussie, and that's what you're missing. Drone comes in, 2 people trying to get a pinch on, it's perfect.
Attackers have dropped the bomb
Great
diffuser.
trade out, but Lola is there ready to really bring in the heat. Another with a drop shot will be granting herself another one, but Omnom is able to, at the very least, refrag. The disconnect of Repel is certainly not the best thing to happen, but Kotari nearly granting herself another frag, but already full knowledge of where the last attacker is. Will be there. A flashbang, fantastic one to come through, but Kotari is just a little bit more well prepared here in this matchup, and well, Elevate to claim themselves yet another point.
Things aren't looking for Aqua, but with a possible rehost, maybe they can get their momentum back, take a little break. And a lot of times when you do have a rehost, when you do have a pause like this, the winning team will have their momentum disrupted. They're no longer on this win streak, which is exactly what Elevate has been on. How many rounds in a row is that?
That was 5 rounds in a row,
Yeah,
including
5 rounds in a
their
row.
first half. Yeah.
Oof.
That's gotta hurt.
Yeah. But I do want to say, EXO is definitely putting a dent into Elevate's almost perfect record. Prior to this, Elevate only had 1 round dropped in total of all the games they've played. And now that's 3 rounds. 3 rounds in total. It's not benefiting their scoreboard.
Yeah, EXO started off so well on their own... sorry, not on their own map, but on their defensive side. And all of a sudden, Elevate were able to gain themselves such a huge advantage and such a huge momentum that EXO just seeming to be unable to really return back any kind of their quote-unquote mojo, I suppose.
Yeah, mojo. But yeah, as things aren't looking for Aqua, you maybe they need to take a little bit of what Elevate has been channeling and channel that back into their games. Otherwise, 1 round left match point could really, at this rate, go on to Elevate's side, and it would just be a 7-3 victory for Elevate. So, just taking maybe like 1 or 2 rounds back. Yes, it is on attack, but they have experience facing against Elevate now. They know what they're looking for. They're looking for flanks from Kotari. They're looking for possibly vigils, maybe like a bandit trickery as well. So it'd be interesting to see what they do to take that advantage.
Yeah, maybe right now this rehost as well will give Exto maybe a few moments to kind of catch your breath and maybe get the composure back up and running, because maybe this is what they really need here. Maybe that kind of few minutes of just kind of figuring out what is the issue. Maybe it's the communication. Maybe it's just the general approach. Maybe they need to just pace themselves down. Because, at the moment, this is looking like Elevate are just about to run away with yet another win.
I really want to say that, like, some of the key areas that we've seen EXO come out, if they want to take some feedback to improve next time, I would like to say to improve on their droning skills. A lot of the drones, I'm not saying I'm not seeing any drones, of course I am, but a lot of these drones could be more impactful because they drone once, they get the kill from that, and it feels like they've almost relaxed a little bit, and they go, okay, yeah, all right. But then they get swung on by Elevate, and then another one dies, You need to have that constant droning action. You need to have flank drones. You need to have aggressive drones. And you want to be able to, if we know that Elevate is going for all those aggressive plays, to maybe have a gridlock in place, to have a nomad in place. Sure, Jackal's banned out, but you still have proper flank watch operators available for you.
Yeah, flank watches certainly has been a bit of an issue there for Exto to deal with. It seems that maybe a lack of, say, a nomad or a gridlock is certainly hurting quite a little bit. But once again, we are going to be going back in at Clubhouse once again. Elevate are on a match point, and this is looking like so far just an absolute nuts matchup here for Elevate 2, kind of reigniting themselves further down the line throughout the whole map.
Yeah, the Church and Arsenal site coming out from Elevate. See how they operate against this. Legion coming out. Yeah, see that, Legion, I'm sure they picked him additionally for his track stingers, but also for his impact grenades. It'd be silly not to have someone like that, as well as Kotari and Vigil. I know she's quite prone to roaming, but a lot of the times, having a Vigil in that place right underneath Kitchen Hatch, you activate your gadget, and even people all the way up in the top story and bedroom will see the Vigil sensors on your drone as well, and it's quite a big intimidation factor.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by
intimidation is surely a huge factor as well. It can get into your head and you start making some of those questionable decisions occasionally, and it's just sometimes exactly what the opposing team needs, just to get into your head and just make you do all the work for them rather. So I'll certainly agree with you on that one. The mental game is definitely quite something that needs to be also mentioned quite frequently here.
You see a lot of operators getting picked purely for that mental fear. Sometimes when the Mirror doesn't get banned out and you see her being chosen, it's not because Mirror is not Mirror is a great operator, obviously, but also because those black mirrors are so great at just waddling time, because as an attacker, you just need to get that out of the way. A cheeky little spawn pick coming out from Kotari. Doesn't get any damage down, but, that's that fear factor setting in.
Yeah, Time for Pie now will be definitely looking out for all of the angles possible, really, to try to handle them as quickly as possible, or at the very least just rappel as quickly as possible to the roof, and that should provide just enough safety for the time being whilst we are waiting for any kind of roam clear to begin, which actually will be spearheaded by Rappel with the Ash.
And I love seeing, breaching charges come out on an operator that you would normally not see breaching because they already have a primary breaching gadget. Having an additional breaching charges, especially on a map that encourages verticality, it's always going to be a bonus. It's never going to be a downside.
Yeah. Well, here's the adrenaline boost coming in as well. XO Gaming bringing in a thinker. Could potentially make things work here. Oh, Lola. Oh boy, oh boy.
Not sure if they drones out far.
I don't think she was droned, actually. No, they have no idea about her whereabouts, and she could get a massive flank here if she's able to find the frags. There's one, misses out the shots, does find one, that's two. Could she find a third one? No, she won't. Time for Pi will be able to shut her down, but the damage is already done.
That's not what you want to see, especially on match point when it goes to elevate like this. You need to be droning out all those sneaky hiding holes. Maybe the droner wasn't aware that that was a position that you could hide in, but I'm sure whoever droned that is kicking their feet right now. You're like, why didn't I look at that?
Lol is also not particularly a fan of having this kind of heart race there with all of the frags being presented in front of her, but Kortari could be having a phenomenal time right now to try to play it out, but pretty sure those shots have revealed the position. But no, amidst all of the chaos, it's already there's a push coming, there's a crossfire and a plethora of the trades coming through.
Yeah. Boshe looking to push her way onto site. It's just her by herself. She gets a pick onto time for Pi and Oil Pit. Can she get that second kill? She's got 2 more to go for. 30 seconds on the clock. That's plenty of time to regroup. Maybe look at some drones. Maybe get a different angle.
Best part about it all right now is that just a few moments ago, this was a very kind of two disconnected 1v1 situations that she could have taken, but right now that Kortari has managed to come back close to the side, does find actually a shot. Oh, so close, Boshe, so close, but no cigar. It's Elevate to win it out.
That was a stressful few seconds at the end. We almost seen a clutch happen out. That was, could have been, wouldn't have been. Sav getting that expert clutch off in the end. But this is what I'm talking about. This is more like it. If that double kill didn't happen, if that droning was more specific, I have no doubt that this round possibly could have been in the hands of Aqua instead of Elevate.
Yeah, this definitely had the potential for XO to give the first L to Elevate, but doesn't look like it's going to be the case. 7-3 is yet another dominant scoreline that Elevate were able to establish here for themselves, even after a few hiccups there, here and there with the technical issues, a few rehosts. Didn't really seem to have really bothered them in any shape or form.
Yeah, I do think, however, after the little break that EXO came back, guns blazing, that was quite a close round. One of the closer rounds we've seen this entire map. So props to them. Just because they lost, just because it was a 7-3, doesn't mean that this shows that EXO is weak in any way. In fact, I think they're quite a tough competitor. And if it wasn't for the fact that they were facing off against the number 1 placement in this round, against any other team, I think every other team should be a bit cautious against.
Yeah. Well, for the time being, we are going to be taking a short break to prepare the second matchup for you as well, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be, I believe, Kings Women versus Forbidden Gaming. So yet another banger of a matchup coming right up. So stay tuned, and we'll see you in just a few short moments.
Baby, I can feel your energy. It's making me realize everything we've been through makes us strong enough. You and I. Everything we've been through makes us strong enough. You and I.
Founded before the Fifth Corporate War, Mute Tower represents the voice for independence in the city.
Defense units activated. Attackers are inbound. Servers targeted. Mute must be eliminated. Remains operational. Security suspended.
You should know better than to write me off. Consider this a teaching moment.
But you know, those smoke cannons, she's used up all three of them. They're really good at denying last second pushes, so if you use them so early, Cody getting that flank onto Titanfall High, this isn't what we want.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. Chloe actually gets a spray down through the smoke straight away, and we'll be able to find Bochet as well, as I would imagine Chloe was looking a little bit confused there as the wait. There's the first engagement that could be against Bernabeu, but she's holding a very tight angle and just ensuring that the moment the push is going to happen, this is where be able to find the catch.
Attackers need to protect it.
And so last kill coming out from Kings Women, Core Bites being that final headshot. So GG's all around. It's a very excellent match to watch on Coastline.
Not at all, and funnily enough, she was able to actually run away with that scot-free. That's another one for Bernabear as well, and all of a sudden it's all down to Lucky Crystal, and well, for her with 15 seconds remaining, 5v1, that's a rough patch here to go through. She will be trying to maybe just go in and try to push in through one of the windows, but that is not yet really going to work out. 3 seconds remaining, and it's a crossfire, and it's the end for the round number 1. It's a flawless.
I think they've taken things by surprise on how aggressive they pushed from not the stereotypical England you see people go from. Chloe getting that kill onto Hotto.
Oh man.
Oh, Hotto trading out on Bernabear, small chance of getting it on Chloe. This is a blood block.
Oh yeah, it sure is. With a minute remaining, there's still plenty of time for Kings Women to rethink some of the pushes, some of the plays. Oh, Kovice, I think she saw just the pouches of Jaeger, but we'll be rather going for a few pre-fires. And right now, this is looking like, might be seeing a quick turnaround. Buddha gets the double. Oh, actually that is the Dutch Bullet gets a triple as well. And now it's all down to Brunek, who will be falling as well. It is a flawless game, a 7-0 for Kings Women. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Back for game number 2 of week 3 of Women's League. Cthulhu and Pi still on the microphone. Pi, we had so far a very, very quick almost game of Elevate versus Exto, where Elevate kind of just turned up and got the dub, it felt.
Yeah, it's something that if you had the right sort of eyewear attached to your eyes, something that you'd be able to see, There's a game full of, pink and hearts. But yeah, it was a great game to watch and to cast. It was just, we really didn't know how the game was going to go until, as we said, like the round swapped where Elevate went on to attack and they asserted their dominance continuously. It was a little bit of pushback from Exo Gaming, but it just wasn't enough at the end. So congratulations to winners of Elevate. Yeah.
Let's take a look as well at the standings overall, how things are shaping up so far. It's Elevate that are currently leading the charge. Kings Women are on the 2nd place and potentially looking at grabbing themselves another set of points. And Exto Gaming and Forbidden are kind of chugging along right behind them, waiting for just the right moment to pounce and grab those top spots as well.
Yeah, if you look at the point difference, all these teams are actually quite neck and neck in close place. Kings Women and Elevate both actually on 9 teams. It's just the round difference that's separating them. Exo and Forbidden, again, the same points as well. So by the end of, all these weeks, it'd be interesting to see if the points change or if the gap between them widens up.
Yeah, this could definitely be the quick deal breaker very soon. But also, whilst we are at it, quick thank you as well to all of our sponsors, ZQ Racing, Quantum Energy Drinks, Ubisoft and Computer Alliance as well for helping us set up such an amazing Season 2 of Women's League, just helping us with just getting it all on board and underway. But for the time being, the second matchup, it's Kings Women versus Forbidden Gaming. Kings Women so far, like we mentioned before, 2nd place on the leaderboard, whereas Forbidden is on the 4th. And you were mentioning prior to us getting back on the mics live that you would be interested to see Forbidden to kind of come out victorious, but you reckon, was it that Kings Women are going to be the ones to come out victorious here?
I do think, and I think this isn't just me alone. According to our Twitter poll that we put out, it was actually a 53.8% favor towards Kings women, which is actually quite close to that 50-50. Actually not sure about that. Oh no, it was actually 62%. Sorry, maybe it got updated when I wrote out the scores. I am a huge supporter of Forbidden. I know all the girls in there personally, and I think they're all fabulous, amazing. Shout out to them. Okay. But I also know that the girls in Kings Women are quite tough. They didn't get to second place by just being mediocre. They got there through strats, through gunning, through just everything spectacular that you would hope to see. So it'll be interesting to see this matchup.
Oh, yeah. Talking about actually this matchup, it will be played out on Oregon, the map that I would imagine you are also not particularly kind of a fan of. But I don't know. It feels like it kind of shaped up its own almost meta ever since its rework, and kind of managed to slide in into the general so far competitive meta fairly well, albeit there are a few kind of oddball games that we've witnessed on Oregon that kind of went a little bit kind of both ways almost.
Yeah, I feel like Oregon is one of those maps where, yes, you always want to be starting on defense because attacking in general is quite difficult unless you have a well-coordinated team. But I feel like Oregon is one of those maps, if you have a set-out plan for the attack, it really could go 50-50 based on whichever side actually executes it properly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a big question of how well can you be coordinated. But for now, let's quickly take a quick look at an overview at Oregon, the map that has been in the game pretty much ever since its release, but has seen a bit of a rework, a bit of a shape up, a little bit of something added to it. And well, we now have slightly brighter, slightly just more vibrant looking map now.
A little bit of spice and all things nice.
A little bit of spice. Yeah, well, yeah, you got that one right, yeah.
First bag coming out from Kings Women. Yeah.
Will be Thatcher, yeah? Okay.
Oh, who saw that one coming? Second
yeah,
bag.
It's certainly a bit of a, at this point, expected one. I would imagine it would either be Hibana or maybe a Maverick to be banned out here, because generally we're seeing that kind of the Thatcher plus one of the hard breaches to be banned out here.
And it's a Maverick pick. Yeah, a lot of the times we've been seeing Jackal alongside that Thatcher, but I feel like if you're getting against teams who know how to utilize their hard breaches, banning out one of the Maverick or Hibana, as you said, is really quite the most optimal choice to go for.
Yeah, because he is able to really ignore any kind of bandit charges, Kite charges, or mute jammers as well. So seeing him out is definitely going to make things obviously a whole lot harder for the attack. But there's still the option of Kali. There's still technically the option of Twitch as well.
Yep.
We've seen Twitch picked fairly frequently in the previous matchup, and well, the two remaining bans to close things out are going to be Mira and Echo, which are somewhat expected here.
Yeah, very standard bans. That Echo can be interchanged with a Maestro based on whichever team prefers not to face up against. A lot of the times it is Echo because he does have, impact grenades as well as an ACOG that Maestro just doesn't quite measure up to.
Yeah, the ACOG is a very powerful tool, especially when you don't even produce any bullet traces as well with that integrally suppressed MP5. So that's kind of a double wombo combo there for the Japanese operator to be able to utilize. And well, not for this map at the very least, but Maestro is going to be there. And there we go. There's the Kali pick as well that I was mentioning previously. So at the very least, it seems that Forbidden Gaming are going to be sticking to more so of a bit more standardized maybe play for themselves and kind of just replacing Thatcher with Kali.
Yeah, and it's just, I love seeing Finite on Nomad because it's something that we missed out on that earlier game on Clubhouse where we were talking about, not being proactive on denying that roam. Yes, Jackal was banned, but Nomad is single-handedly one of the most effective flank denial operators you can get with those air jabs, and 3 of them, what's there not to love about her?
yeah. She's also the, I believe, the 2-speed operator, and both of her guns are pretty powerful as well, whether it's an AK or an ARX. Personally, I prefer AK just for a little bit more rounds in the magazine, just because more spray, more DACA.
I found that the AK for me is just a bit more controllable, so I normally lean towards that. AK with like the ARX with the hollow sight is just like, wow, you know.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I rate that.
Rate that,
but yeah. That. I mean, I'd more so run ARX on Iana rather than
true.
Nomad. But yeah, either way, both of the guns are very able, very powerful. So not to take away from either one of them. Yeah, more so. Yeah, I suppose at this point it's rather more so a question of preference. Yeah.
It's interesting to see, though, that there's very little pillar control on King's Women's behalf. Normally you have someone, you know, close up on those pillars, either with a deployable shield or we might have a Buddha, you know. Buddha doing Buddha things. She's got a little sneaky angle ready in case they overpeak that. Hopefully it's thrown down. Diana! Carly! Those one taps to the body, you know. Gets Bernabeu. First kill of the game.
Yeah, Diana certainly starting off really strong. That's the Kaya charge as well now off the board, but at the very least, Buddha Farai is able to recover the Kaya charge and actually able to trick it out. That is fantastic timing there, which is quite unfortunate for Soy, but she still has 2 more of those X-Kairos charges remaining. So at the very least, she should be able to open up the laundry hatch. If not, well, they still have a few entry points, but those are going to be very much of a choke points there for themselves to try to play off.
Mute Jam is coming to play, blocking out one of those drones that Thor has tossed out. Not what you want to see, but that pillar control, hopefully they've seen those punch holes come out of Buddha Farai. She is watching down into it. One slight overpeak could mean a headshot. Which is not what you want to happen.
Still waiting for that peak to happen. He's just, I believe that's Mons actually just toying with that fade. That was actually decided to go for a few pre-fires, but just a little bit too late. There is also, I believe, a push through Freezer. Yeah, that is Soy, but it's a lone Soy.
There is finite droning ahead of her, which, you know, I love drones in Siege. I treat them as pretty much an extra person, because once that drone gets shot, you know, and a defender has to shoot at it, he has to make noise at it, so it's something that's really valuable. Wall gets taken open into electrical. That's Buddha Farai forced out back onto site. No more little sneaky peek holes for you, hopefully.
15 seconds remaining.
Oh yeah, with 15 seconds remaining, the time has already been taken down. It's a kill with the Evil Eye as well. Soy with a Grandmaster level of crossfires will be trying to get things going. And well, Plant is quite successful, surprisingly enough.
This is the excellent spot for Forbidden Soy with that triple kill. It's all up to Corvice to clutch this out. Members of Forbidden are quite low, so it could be possible. She's going to take down that Freezer presence first, and that's Soy you're up against.
Soy is just showing some good trigger discipline, but at the same time trying to hunt for that frag. Corvice is completely clueless about that positioning, but oh, there is the MP5K striking back. 14 seconds left to go. The push needs to happen right now. Finds one. She doesn't have enough time. Needs to go in. That Nomad charge will be ensuring that she won't have enough time, and there it is. It's Diana to win out that gunfight. It's Forbidden's first round to be taken here.
I think this overall was quite clean on Forbidden's behalf. I think Soy got a little bit greedy at the end, you know, hunting for that last kill onto Corvice. Didn't expect Corvice to bite back and get that double kill. Very well done on Forbidden's behalf, though. They managed to get the holes, to get the breaches open where they needed to get that plant down. You know, we haven't got in without much of a fight, honestly. There wasn't many C4s thrown or anything. Just got in, planted, got out, and then just waited.
Yeah. That was, a little bit surprised how easy that was allowed, though, for Forbidden to pull off, because with that little amount of time, usually you just lock down the site and just not allow any kind of advancement. But it seems that the fact that there was no contestant, or no indication rather, that there's going to be some presence in the freezer seemed to have caused the greatest damage so far to King's Women's defense.
And that's something we've seen a lot from like, you know, the women in the competition like this. Oh, did you see that bird fly across the screen?
Yeah, there's another one.
Oh my gosh, I've never seen birds on this map. As I was saying, a lot of the times you'll see, you know, these teammates on operators that you don't expect them to go aggressive on, such as the Habana. You don't expect her to peek these angles that she's taking. You don't expect her to get a hot drone. You know, you would expect someone like Diana or Mons on like more, I guess, less worthy operators instead of a hard breacher going in. But it's these hard breachers with these amazing guns that are going aggressive, that are going for it, and it's wacky, you know? It's so great to see that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, being able to just flex all of that ability with some of those like lesser picked operators. I like that castle barricade, by the way. Sorry, but yeah, it's a great ability just to be able to flex some of the just different picks and just show that you are not just the one trick kind of player. But yeah, that very castle barricade, that whole doorway in its entirety, it's a great addition to the clubhouse, especially to the laundry, because it makes solo holding laundry just that much easier for the defense, because previously it really didn't have a whole lot of angles. You had to either hard hold the angle or just play off that, but now you can actually force the attackers to really try to either get distracted onto getting rid of that castle barricade, and then whilst they're at it, start going in for the peaks and the frags.
Yeah, I never thought about that. Soy getting taken out early by Bernabet this time. You know, no triple kill for you. Is that a miss drone or was Soy moving too fast for the drone? As so unfortunate to get picked off. Budafra going in for those kills. She gets damaged herself, going for a little wiggle there.
Yeah, maybe right now Bernabet could maybe find herself another frag, but for the time being it seems that that's not really the case. Will be fairly promptly falling back to the freezer. Meanwhile, Budafra is still trying to get some openings in kitchen. She is very heavily tagged up, so any kind of further advancements or further attempts at push will be pretty much shut down. But there is a very pesky nomad charge that just popped off, and she needs to bail pretty quickly because Finite and Mons are very much ready to shut it down, or rather just use another nomad charge just to refresh it there.
Yeah, just make sure, no, you're not coming this way. All these functions getting denied there. I hope Forbidden are on the drones. Hopefully Soy is flicking through them, calling out that Buddha is coming.
Both guns being aimed there and ready to blast off. Should be a single one, should be just about enough, but it seems that Buddha is just going to be just holding her angle and just waiting for the right moment to push in. The moment Finite is going to be taking her eyes off that angle. It certainly doesn't look like it's going to be time anytime soon. Quick jiggle peek, but there's the headshot that connects.
Can't jiggle peek, you're dead. Only getting that headshot onto one. Excellent long range kill. Koi on Diana. Weird one finishing up on Koi. Excellent refrags coming out. It's a weird one. Already onto Spike. She takes down Bernabet in freezer. With that one tap. It's just a 1v1 though.
Coney peeking around with the maestro is almost like the embodiment of the meme. It's like, your mama, your last me, loads in the gun with malicious intent. But yeah, honestly, this has been a nuts round. A little bit of a chance there for Forbidden to really grab themselves the second round, but Kingswomen were just a step ahead.
Yeah, and I think the main downfall of that entire round was just time. You know, they ran out of time. Maybe Kearney could have gone that final frag onto Finite, but maybe if there was more time, Finite would have been able to drone Kearney out. So we really can't tell. Maybe if there was another 30 seconds on the clock, we could have. But yeah, something like that just comes out to, you know, maybe indecisiveness, maybe like Soy getting picked up at the start wasn't what they expected and threw them off their momentum, which is not something you want to be happening.
Yeah. Oh well. At least it's only round 3, so plenty of opportunities for both the teams to try to get their momentum back up and running. A bit of a trade-in round could potentially be signaling that we might be seeing a fair few round trades, or maybe it's just kind of both of the teams trying to figure out the momentum of each one another. I'm liking the fact that there's quite a plentiful amount of presence being utilized downstairs, but also running your whole roster thin on all of the locations could potentially result in them kind of being isolated into those 1v1s or 1vx kind of situations where they won't be able to really exceed.
Yeah, there's very little presence from the defenders actually on site. Maybe there'll be some quick rotates if the calls have been made, but there's actually a really strong presence in kitchen, which is right below site. I assume this is happening because they had seen Dinah and Mons on those vertical soft breaches, and one effective way, I guess, to take this site is to, go for verticals, is you open up the floor below the defenders and you pop their little feet and hopefully get some kills before you can get that bomb down.
Yeah, well, talking about the bomb and the breach, for the time being, quite a hefty amount of angles being held. Corvais might run into Mons' sides or vice versa. For the time being, it's just awaiting for the right moment to push, because it's kind of, you can see the red stack right at the tower wall, and then the rest of KGW is on the opposite side of that wall, just awaiting for the moment of truth, you could say.
Corvais gets droned down by a sneaky drone from mid one. Don't think she's aware of this, but they're getting pressured slowly from all angles. This is what you like to see. This is, pretty much a pincer attack from Forbidden.
Yeah, Forbidden definitely looking like they know their stuff, know their strats. Right now, they just need to start connecting those shots, because right now, that pressure is going to be crucial here for the success of their push, because the moment Hibana would die, this is going to be turning into a very one-sided push, and this is the last thing that they would want. Fantastic swing by Chloe will be shutting down Soy, but Mons responds with a double kill instead. Unfortunate loss there for Chloe, and Mons, just being an absolute monster there, grabbing herself that triple kill, and now all down to Coney and Bernabé, full health, so at the very least they have that going for themselves.
And this is a downfall of spreading out your units so far, trying to deny any advantage. Chloe drops down a hatch! Chloe, did she slip? Did she fall? Did she go for it? I'm not quite sure, but Dinah anyways, now's that free kill. Like, thank you for coming again. Bernabé, last fort of defense, picks off Finite and Weird One. She's so low though. Mons and Dinah don't have that health advantage either, but they know Bernabé's somewhere lurking around here. Bernabé with that triple kill, but
yeah.
Dinah was just slower, a second slower on the intake.
Yeah, that could have been huge. If Diana didn't connect that shot, maybe we would have seen a clutch from Kingswomen, but alas, that was not meant to happen, at least just yet. Forbidden Gaming were able to run away with just by the skin of their teeth, really. Yeah, because that was a little bit sloppy, actually, on both sides. The Coney's drop down is still very much questioning that decision. Maybe it's a slip, but again, a bit of an unfortunate outcome.
Yeah, and as I was saying, that's one of the dangers of when you split up your team like that, when you're trying to get into the heads of the attackers, trying to deny them any verticality. They had 3 people down in that kitchen, down in that meeting hall. However, Mons single-handedly took down all of them. And that weakens Kingswomen so hard because they only have 2 real anchors on site. Curry slipping off the hatch like that, it wasn't what they wanted, obviously. But being so split up like that, you really need to make sure you get those kills, otherwise you're at a huge disadvantage.
Yeah, well, we'll see how things will go out here on round number 4. Trying to, well, for Kingswomen, it will be another attempt to try to maybe run away with another point and trade it out to themselves and Forbidden, or maybe Forbidden are gonna figure out the general kind of spacing, the general idea of what Kingswomen are up to, and will be able to run away with that 3rd point. And yeah, this is where they could potentially start gaining that momentum and the point advantage, which could be absolutely huge further down the line.
I'm disappointed to not see any more Kali coming out of Dino. I assume, yeah, obviously Bach has a lot more benefits when it comes to taking down vertical objectives. But having a Kali throw down one Kali charge onto that attic wall, it could just destroy the K charge because Kali's not going for a trick. That's like for real estate, you know? And you can get that wall open with Weird One, go for an attic push, instead of trying so desperately to go for the same thing again. You know, you've got to go through all three of those defenders, line of defense one by one. Why would you want to complicate your life like that?
I mean, maybe they are expecting a slightly maybe different kind of approach. Maybe the idea is that they just try to bomb it from below and just kind of get rid of it, because that surely should open both of the avenues here. But I don't think that maybe their strats were not really accommodating for the fact that there is a castle maybe there. So who knows? I like though what Forbidden are doing just in general, dedicating 2 players to try to cut off some of the rotations, which is good. And Soy already dealing quite some damage, but just not enough to get rid of Buddha Farai, but it's enough to get the Legion to care about that peak now.
Yeah, you gotta be careful about which windows you run across, because some of them could have Soy peeking through them.
Yeah, at the moment there's a bit of a calm before the storm after a few shots have been exchanged. Mons toying around with the idea of peeking into kitchen, but seeming to be a little bit too scared, and well, there it is. That uncertainty in her moves will pretty much resulting in her own demise. Kovice to find that shot, and right now, maybe an attempt to refrag by Finite with the flashbangs. She does see Castle crossover, but he promptly falls back, and well, that's about as quickest kind of fallback as I've seen for a while now.
Koi getting that kill into Soy, Buddha headshot onto Diana. This isn't looking like Forbidden's round to take. You know, there's just so many rooms to clear. It's a nightmare to go through if you're an attacker. There's all these holes in the ground. You know, who knows if Chloe's going to slip through another hatch again? I mean, Coney.
Yeah, everything could really happen here. For now, a 5v2 is certainly seeming to be impossible to compete against, because this time King's Women are certainly playing a much more calm, much more withdrawn game, apart from the few of the roamers, and well, they will be the ones to pay the ultimate price here. Weird One in the Finite, well, Finite will be downed and taken care of by Chloe, but it will be Weird One to stay alive throughout this round. But once again, we're back to a draw.
Yeah, I don't think Forbidden was expecting King's Women to double down and go for actually the exact same strat they had the round before, because it's such a, you know, I know I said this a lot of times, but I just want to emphasize it. It's such a spread out defense. If Forbidden just went for like a more one-sided attack where they just ignored, as I would like to say, the presence on ground floor, no one down there on the defense actually had a C4. If I'm correct, it was mostly just impact grenades. There wasn't any C4s. It wasn't a Valkyrie back then, so they couldn't have gone for like a C4 plant denial. Maybe Weapon could have gone a quick plant down from those double windows in kids, but you know, we don't know.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait till maybe yet another attempt at playing kids, but at this point, I don't think... Actually, no, this won't really be happening, because there's still only 2 more rounds, and the sites only open up after those 2 rounds. So, for the time being, we are going to be returning back to Laundry, which last time King's Women were able to win out, even though it was after a retry. So this is going to be the decider on the statistics and the statistical success of the map, and that's not particularly sold on that positioning of the 2 magnets, because I'm pretty sure the moment one of them explodes, that's the other one dealt with as well. So
yes,
unless it is on like just trying to protect like a very rapid discharge of the 2 concussion grenades, I don't think it will be happening anytime soon.
regardless, facing against, those double or mine magnets as well as, I assume there's going to be a Bear ADS on it as well.
Yep.
Going through all of that, you would need to use at least possibly 5 to 6 flash grenades to burn through that. And that's going to be the bulk of their utility gone from Forbidden. So having a double combo like the World Maya Jaeger is always such a benefit boon. And with Buddha getting that headshot onto Soy, Soy's not having a good time today. She's getting picked off so early. Diana getting that refrag onto Buddha for Y. Very nice early pick for them.
Yeah, solid trade from technically one fragger to another. Losing Ash is definitely going to hurt a little bit because that's one of the soft breaches as well off the board. But for Kingswomen as well, that's one of the C4s gone and out, albeit that there's still 2 more in the hands of Corvise and Chloe. So not as bad of a loss. So still 4v4 with half a round to go. Plenty of opportunities to be taken here.
Yeah, it looks like Forbidden's not going to go for that blue bunker push. They probably sussed out all those magnets and they're like, no, we're going to save our utility, thank you very much. C4 in hand. Can she get a kill with that? No, it goes wide. Bear goes terribly low, swinging for that kill. And they get flushed out with all those frag grenades.
And that is a very swift take of Freezer, just in general, albeit that there is a cheeky drone hole which Chloe will be able to utilize, albeit straight away punished. Corvise able to find another frag and maybe trying to get Chloe back up and running and pick her back up because that wall is not getting breached anytime soon. So unless Mons and Finite swing, this could be huge. Finite dies to a pre-fire by Bernabear, and in a 1v4 situation, things are certainly looking very scary. That's one. Only a down, unfortunately, here for Mons. Maybe she could find another one, but right now all the guns are aimed at that doorway, and well, it's Coney to find that shot, and well, it's round number 5 for Kingswomen as they are now in control of the round count.
Yeah, I feel like too many bodies were just piled up in Freezer. They stacked so much and yet they weren't able to get any value. Sure, they got like really quick control of Freezer. It was unlucky of Diana to get shot through the feet through that drone hole. I don't think she was expecting that. I don't think any of us were expecting that. The shots seemed to come out of nowhere. But yeah, having yourself piled through that weird one, being unable to open the Freezer wall as well, just wasn't very effective for them.
If they had another point of pressure, say, from the bunker or from those laundry stairs, or better yet, from the tower stairs, then it would have been a much more viable choice. But funneling, all 3 of their players through Freezer did not seem to have been one of the brighter ideas that they had.
Yeah, I feel like if you really wanted to push that Freezer area, it would only be beneficial if you have a Kali to break any electrified walls, or if you have a Maverick, in this case, I know he's banned, but if you did have him, he would be able to open those walls up, despite being electrified or muted, doesn't matter, he doesn't care. But in this case, we're going to see a new bomb site come out of Kingswomen. It'll be interesting to see how Forbidden will go about taking this. A lot of attacks will initially start off with a bathroom tank. I think that's called bathroom. Someone will be in bathroom, ideally with the deployable shield, maybe Chloe's Goyo shields. Yep, but I can see her getting ready for that.
Yeah, there it is. Oh, okay, that was...
Wait, that animation, it just went above her head.
Interesting concept there by Goyo. Some new, freshly researched new gadgets by Team Rainbow. Yep. Thank you, Mira.
I'm just gonna make that shield a bit higher up.
Well, but imagine stacking 2 Goyo shields up on top of another, like turn it into a tower shield.
Turn it into an attack shield, but explosive shield.
Oh no.
Yeah,
that's scary.
That bathroom showers control is going to be so crucial for Kingswomen to maintain control of site, because once you're in showers, or once you're in like the store area, you can open up so many line of sights that would be so beneficial towards ultimately planting the bomb down. As it is, if they don't get control of it, then there's no way that bomb can get planted anytime soon. One Goyo shield gets down, but Diana! Shotgun from below!
I like that. Coney adapting on the go and denying any further advancement by the soft breaches, able to actually find a frag, but Yeah, I absolutely love that part of breachable floor, because if you're an attacker, you can actually plant the diffuser right on top of this couch, and you need to actually climb on top of it so for the diffuse to start happening, funnily enough.
I feel like that's what Forbidden is going for. You know, the Habana holes have been opened up into that plant, into that spot that you said the plant would be most beneficial if you have that vertical angle open. The only downside is, as I said before, they need that showers control, because if they go in for a plant, Chloe could just spring out with her gun ready to fire down. You know, the C4s are plenty. Look at that shower stack, they're all ready. It seems like they know where the plant's going, but it seems like they know where Forbidden is gunning for, and they're reacting to it. They're repositioning themselves, going for that.
They're trying to find that frag. Well, there it is. Bernabeu will be going down. Some good positioning and a good play. Chloe was prepping a C4, but to no avail. There it is. It will be thrown out, and there's the C4 connecting, actually. Chloe, fantastic job. Now, need to get rid of Mons and the Thermite, but a phenomenal peek by Coney will be securing that. But meanwhile, it's a trade-off. 3 frags actually make it. Will be traded out. It's back to a 1v1 situation, as Corvise is the last player standing for KGW, whereas its Weird One will be needing to perform the play in the next 20 seconds.
No available drones in her pocket, so she only has the ones her team set up for her. Did she leave Corvise? Corvise is still full health. Weird One is also full health.
10 seconds left.
The battle of the last anchors.
Yeah, and Weird One needs to start going in for that plan, because otherwise this is going to be all over Red Rover. Weird One needs to stick it. She will stick it. Pros don't fake, and well, Corvise at the end of the round will still be able to connect that shot after a little bit of a scary pre-fire.
Yeah, I assume she got the intel that the bomb was being planted, and what she had to do was pre-fire around. Sooner or later, Weird One's head needs to pop out after defusing for that long. And yeah, it's just unlucky turn of events.
Sure is. Well, that's a 4th point here for KGW, as they are in a 2-point lead now over Forbidden Gaming. Certainly doesn't look too good for Forbidden, but they are now the ones to go onto defense and to potentially dictate the overall pace of the game, as they are going to be attempting to defend Laundry, which is rather one of those sides that has become much more approachable for the attack, but at the same time, it still also presents quite a grand variety of ways to defend it as well, in a very turtle-like behavior.
Yeah, and I just want to point out a little bit of an interesting 6-pick from that IQ onto the Zofia. IQ, Wager made sense in this one. It was because they seen the Goyo. Goyo is someone that you don't really want to face off against, especially staring into the back of those explosive shields. It's just not fun for anyone. So having a Zofia being able to impact down those Goyo shields from a safe distance away is exactly what you want, Chloe is able to have her Kali charges ready, and if that doesn't work, then you still have the impacts from Bernabeu. So unless there's some careful placement of Wamai charges, or there's careful placement of the ADSs, I'd be interested to see how long Weird One's shields would stay alive,
Yeah, curious how
5 seconds left.
that would be able to work out, but yeah.
Attacker's objective is to
Looking at the general lineup, Burner bringing out the LMGE, the 150 rounder for the team. Actually, I've seen a few people use the LMGE over the M762, which, after asking why and being given pretty much the answer, just more rounds. Really, you don't have to reload. Not a bad response, given that, well, technically it's just about the same rate of fire. Pretty sure the damage value there. The only difference that you're trading out is the ADS speed, and well, maybe that's the big decider here. Talking about also the big deciders is Diana finding that shot onto Corvise.
That's that flank watch going, and now they need to pretty much force out this deployable shield. I think Corvise actually had flashes in her pocket as well, so that's one less set of utility for Kingswomen to break down those Jaeger ADSs. And if you're smart, you'd leave real fast.
Oh, unfortunately for Finite as well,
Bomb located by
that
attackers.
electrical placement was not successful there. Won't be denying the breach. So another point of entry and another point of for peak is going to be open there. Another set of flash grenades will be drained out, and now all pretty much down to the last projectile that can be used by Burnabear, which is her concussive grenade.
Don't want to be wasting a concussive grenade on something as trivial as a shield, or possibly someone behind a shield if you don't know. Chloe getting that shot onto Finite, shotting her down. She's looking for more kills. She's got a very big angle to peek from. Oh, no. No. There's no way you would re-pick that. That would be suicide.
Seeing Diana, even denying the smoke of his utility. It's a solid start here and a good close down, or rather lockdown, but Mons is there to attempt to perform some more heroic feats, but Weird One does fall down. It's defenders actually winning the round, and the time and the body count has been gone as there's a team kill as well.
Yeah, I think it was Coney onto Chloe.
Uh-oh.
It's too eager for that, just seeing a body and just bam, bam, bam. But that was an excellent hold from Forbidden on their basement take. It was quite a formidable defense as well, if you want to think about it. There were the Wamai magnet charges, there was a Jaeger ADSs on the blue bunker sort of direction, and there were so many deployable shields everywhere. They had the double shields from Goyo, they had the Wamai shield. You really need to have a careful control over what sort of utility you use for these shields, because with the two double impacts from Sophia, you can only take down two of them. So which one are you going to leave up?
Yeah, that's a continuous debate that seems to be plaguing pretty much each and one of the teams whenever they run into that Womai and Jaeger combo.
And defuse bomb.
Maybe for the kids push, King's Women might be able to find their next point, or maybe Forbidden are going to be able to draw it out, because so far this is seeming to be a very well-paced, very well-versed, rather, matchup, given that Forbidden so far were able to give a pretty good run for King's Women for their overall kind of run for their name, run for their money.
I just want to say again, Forbidden, please use your 6 picks. Castle is something you don't want to be exposing so easily like that. And because they went into Castle, that was Chloe's 6 pick onto the Ash, because they knew that just as I thought that would not be enough. Because look at all the secondary gadgets on the attackers. None of them actually take breaching charges. They purely went on that Ash specifically to counter Weird One. And if she had chosen a 6 pick, that could have, royally screwed over Kingsman's operators of choice, because they would have looked at that Castle barricade and be like, so do we use a Sophia impact, or do we just let it be and just punch it down?
I mean, another alternative could have been as well the Kali, because she seemed to have partially worked out, given that her lance is still also able to clear out some of the wall utility, plus it's single lance to destroy the castle barricade. So per se, just about the same usage as the Ash, but slightly different loadout, I suppose. So, yeah, maybe it's more so of a loadout question rather than the utility here as well.
Yeah, so into the attic wall, then it opens, instant redirection back onto that master bedroom little cubby hole, I call it. If they can get that open, then that would be an excellent arsenal of crossed angles that they could use. Forbidden won't know which angles they're peeking from. There's people on both sides. They're going to go for a pincer attack, and it'll be a really tough spot to put Forbidden in unless they swing or get some frags out here and there.
Yeah, well, talking about the frags, sometime soon we are going to be seeing the openings come out as the drone that will be exposing Diana's position, and there's the contestant at the master bedroom. Soy is the first person to get the frag and will be protecting potential push into the armory stairs from Buddha Farai. Well, there's an attempt at the breach as well to come around. This time will be successful. No more of the brimstone charges, so at the very least for now, Diana's position is a little bit in a rough spot, given that she is quite cornered here.
But Soy, you're not backing down. She gets the double kill onto Koi, and then Kobai, 1 by 1 ones on the kill onto Burnabear. Forbidden, out of nowhere, flawless round vehicle with that final headshot onto Cody. What an excellent turn of events for them.
Yeah, and being able to pretty much even out the points count as well is a great success so far. Able to shut it down in such a formidable fashion as well. I mean, a flawless round for themselves, just to lock down kids, is that's a huge thing to pull off. Now they just need short of 3 more rounds in a row to give themselves the much needed dub, as well as that grant Kings Women, I believe, their first loss as well.
Yeah, because Kings Women currently on the scoreboard actually have no losses. They're only second because of their round difference. And this match is definitely not helping their standings on the scoreboard. If Forbidden can actually push this out, this would be a huge turn of events for Forbidden. And I wouldn't be surprised if this boosted their score all the way to 3rd or 2nd even.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. Given that, we saw how close the top 4 positions are, and pretty much at any given point they would be able to run away with just stealing away another spot, another point on the leaderboard. So yeah, here on Dining, I'm curious how will Kings Women approach this, because they had a good, somewhat of a good defense. It still ended up going down to a 1v1, but nonetheless they were able to deny a fair few initial entries. So here, the way how Forbidden so far set themselves up, a little bit more withdrawn, a little bit more close to the site kind of setups with their shields and the showers and everywhere else. I'm curious whether they will be able to just play off the mistakes that Kings Women could be doing with some of their rather more aggressive pushes.
I feel like the majority of Forbidden wins on the defense have been very solid stratting. They've had almost an iron-proof defense where every single corner that Kings Women would ideally want to attack from is going for a pincer move. They can't. There's either a deployable shield there's a Jaeger ADS, there's in this case a castle barricade. There's just so much utility to remove that I feel like Kings Women is falling a little bit behind in.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Yeah, could very much be the case. Looking overall, they haven't really changed a whole lot in their lineup. Seeming to be just trying to get some initial picks or just some information. They know that there is a shield. I'm not too sure whether the sound cue also came through for them to know that there's somebody also playing behind that shield. But at the very least, they know about the rotations and that the breach is going to be pretty much free real estate.
And it's unfortunate that Forbidden didn't take more than one denial in effect. Just one mute is occasionally very difficult to bypass because you want that mute to deny drones, but you also want him to deny gadgets. It's very mixed. So taking a Cade along with that mute is normally not a bad option.
It's also not a bad option as getting as much of that drone information as possible. A quick peek by Ash, a little bit of a oversight, as I would imagine that she expected the Italian operator to be a little bit further away, but for the time being, it's the plant going down. Coney actually getting the plant, and well, that's a free plant straight away, and that's a dumpster of the flashbangs, and promptly able to fall back.
Buddha Farai getting that headshot onto Soy. Mon's not chilling, she's getting that kills, but Buddha is able to get all the angles down pat with that buck gun. It's a tough retake for Forbidden. They need to defuse within the next 10 seconds, otherwise there's going to be no time for that bomb. They also need to kill the rest of Kingswomen. It's not looking good for them.
Oh man, Coney nearly gets her head taken off, but unfortunately for her, well, she will be traded out, and well, after a bit of a flurry of kills, Kingswomen able to re-establish their dominance points-wise, at least for the time being.
I feel like that round shouldn't have gone to Kingswomen. I don't understand how the sound cues of, the plant going down didn't alert Weird One in showers, because she was actually right next to it. The wall would have been open as well for the sound cues to come through. So I'm a bit surprised that no one actually reacted for the entire duration of this. And the smoke canisters were coming out, but most of them fell short or they came out too late when the plant was already done.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they slept a little bit on that play, which, well, ultimately ended up potentially costing them that round. Maybe if they had a little bit of that quantum energy drink for
Defenders,
themselves,
protect
they
your bombs
wouldn't
from
have
being
slept on
defused
it.
by
By the way,
attackers.
code XP on the checkout if you want to get that, I believe, 10%
Yeah,
discount.
10% discount.
So quick plug. But either way, yeah. I mean, overall, it was a valiant attempt. They had a few good crossfires, but yeah, some moves were definitely leaving me at a question mark there.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. But we're back onto that laundry defense, the defense that Forbidden
10
had,
seconds
that
left before insertion.
was not broken at all by Kingsman. You know, Kingsman tried, they couldn't. So we just need to see if anything changes this time. The lineup on Kingsman is actually quite similar. They still have that Carly. So will we see? Will Corvice be able to get her air jabs out instead of... Because I remember she was traded off quite early in the round. You know, she wasn't able to use her flash grenades, wasn't able to use her air jabs, which was quite possibly the reason why Kingsman weren't able to take that round. Cheeky electrical. Does that catch it?
Yeah,
Oh,
that
it
does actually work. Yeah, nice.
The more you know.
Attackers have
And
located a bomb.
that goes into my ranked strat book. Talking about strats, though, it's a 2-person peek into the bunker where Diana is residing, with this time make it three ADS devices.
Whew.
3. Wow, that is
Diana's not making it easy for them.
not at all. And with those smoke grenades, it's certainly going to be making things a whole lot harder. Already, I believe both of those... No, only one ADS device is extinguished. Chloe is fully knowledgeable about the position where that smoke is, so now 3 guns are going to be aimed at that doorway in attempts to get the smoke out of there. That's another flashbang. Both of the close-by ADSs are now drained, and Bear will try to get rid of another set, if that's the case.
Yeah, but if you look at the gadget use, you know, that's all of the flashes from Coney, and that's almost all of the flashes from Corvax as well. That's pretty much half the utility that Kingsman brought to take this down. So, all in all, I think it was quite effective to have those ADSs. Maybe perhaps if the third Jaeger ADS was alongside the rest, you know, could have had a more impact and could have drained a lot more resources. But, you know, as it is, the wall gets thermited open into supply room, catching Finite a little bit stuck in position there, but by getting that headshot onto Diana, that's the smoke bomb.
Yeah, that's the smoke that was trying to kind of run away from the fate, but seems that the death still caught up to the SAS operator. Bear, for all the troubles, took a little bit of a damage, but oh, Butterfly going for that double as well. Already pushed in for the flank. Looks for a triple. There it is as well. Maybe a quad here as well. There's the quad. Kingswomen with a flawless round, and all thanks to Butterfly with that quad.
Butterfly is nasty with that gun, you know, this is what we were saying. These people on Habana are peeking and getting kills that you wouldn't expect them to get. That's not stereotypically, you know, attributed to the operator that they're playing with. Habana's gun it's a great gun. It fires fast, you know, it's very accurate, but it doesn't have a lot of bullets. So to be able to get off a 4K in such a small period of time is certainly something to be proud of.
Oh yeah. Yeah, especially not needing to really reload all that time, just being able to go in with just controlled bursts and trying to get all of them is just that's a formidable play. Well done by Kingswomen. And now, potentially for the final round of this map, Kids Dorms will be played out, and a 6-pick, a quick cheeky one by Butterfly from Habana to a Jackal for some fragging power and some roam high.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
Yeah,
the bomb.
I was like ages ago. I was in a stream. I was in Bolo's stream actually, and he was talking about how great Jackal is with his C7. If you run Hollow and an angle grip, you're pretty much just a gunner. You know, you run in, get a kill, scan some feet, is just unstoppable. And to have that gun in the hands of someone like Butterfly, that's something to be scared of.
Exactly. Just about a similar rate of fire comparative to Type 89, and slightly a bigger mag size, quicker reload, and the ADS with the recoil far more manageable. That's a recipe for success if you're a fragger. So genuinely quite curious to see how will Buddha perform here.
Attackers must locate
Because,
and defuse
the
the
Jackal, even with, say, Angle Grip and the ACOG, as long as you have that Flash Hider as well, you're pretty much turning this gun into a laser beam. And with the Vertical Grip, well, that's an even bigger laser beam.
Yeah, I recently
Even more
changed all the grips I have my gun from vertical to angled, where the recoil was manageable. And I
Yeah.
was surprised at how big of a difference it was in terms of ADS time. Like it was so fast. I was like, whoa! I was caught off guard.
Yeah, for most of the guns, the recoil is still fairly manageable, thanks to the fact that after that very old kind of recoil rework, it's still very easy to kind of predict to counter. So the moment you're able to nail down kind of the general overall patterns, you pretty much just sword, and you don't really need that vertical grip. But nonetheless, it still allows quite a fair bit of control. So curious how will now will be utilized. I'm curious whether that Jackal pick will be a successful one, because right now there's still Soy that is on the roam in the armory, and there's still a frag from Weird One who's able to get the vertical play onto Buddha for right.
What is that angle? That's so disgusting, Weird One. You know, I've got to take this to my books as well. That's something I definitely want to be doing. Stop Buddha right in her tracks. No scanning on her feet. Will Bernabet fall to that same angle?
I don't think Buddha will fall to that, but it's rather more so Soy's position, which is quite powerful as well. And I don't think there is any drone knowledge about the position of the Jaeger player, but instead it's a withdrawal from that upfront push, and rather more so dedication towards the attic push.
That's all the utility coming up from Bernabet though. That's the double concussors, double impacts down, Claymore placed somewhere. Oh, Bernabet falls so low. Doesn't die though. Mons is equally tagged, not as much. She is punished for that peak though.
Yeah, right now in a 5v4, almost a 3v5. This could be huge, but 4 versus 4, make it 3 versus 4 now. Finally, Finite does manage to find that kill. Be able to make things a whole lot harder for the protection to come around, and all of a sudden, KGW collapse onto the side. Get those 3 kills overall, and all down to Soy to actually clutch this out. Does find 1. Can she find another 2 as the plant is going down? So now the timer is going to be ticking right up against
Attackers are
her.
activating the diffuser.
Gonna go for a prong through those holes. Doesn't quite fit. Jaeger's a bit thicker than she thought. Takes out an air jab, and it's just... Pony's low, but Corvice is still at full health, and Soy needs to push through all of those defenses.
Yeah, all that setup is there and ready to blast Soy into her demise. There's the peak, there's the swing, and Kingswomen win round number 11. Corvice to close it out. What a game and what a streak that AGW were able to muster at the end of the map.
Yeah, I do want to say though, out of all of the games we see Kingswomen play, I feel like this was the one that was actually quite close. You know, at one point it was actually even 4-4 around to both sides. So it was an excellent work on Kingswomen on that attack, which normally isn't quite as favored as defense as well. So you know, Buddha Fry coming out with those 9 kills. Rest of the team actually are all quite even. Three members with 9 kills. It's not something to be sniffed at. You know, very even skill across the entire board.
Yeah, it's still a very formidable performance from Forbidden Gaming, albeit that they did take a loss. It's still a good showcase of their performance, a good ability to really just show that they still can give a run for the money to all of the top level teams. So, yeah, once again, an unfortunate loss, but congrats to Kingswomen.
Yeah, keeping up that win streak, making sure that there's no losses in their scoreboard, tying it off with Elevate. Maybe both teams have actually dropped a few rounds today, so it'll be interesting to see if the scoreboard changes or anything happens. You know, Forbidden, great effort by them. I can't wait to see what more we can see from them.
Oh yeah, yeah. Certainly, this is not the end of their run in any shape or form, and I genuinely think that they might actually pull off an upset the closer we get to kind of the end of the round robin season.
Yeah. And, this isn't the last time that we'll see these teams duke it out. Both teams will actually, I believe, get another chance at being streamed again. So, it's really interesting to see how far teams have come from week 1 all the way to week 7 when the round robin will end.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely keen for that. Maybe Kings Women versus Elevate game to be streamed as well. Yeah, it should be definitely a banger of a matchup. But yeah, so it's all going to be coming up soon. Any kind of final thoughts as we are closing out for the today?
Well, I think we can certainly say that, all the teams that we've seen today have actually improved a lot since the week 1 that we've seen, where, there was nerves, there was not being certain of what your enemies would play like. Both teams today had very formidable defenses, had very well planned out attacks. That obviously shows they put a lot of time and effort into practicing these things. So it'll be, great to see what else they have in plan for us.
Yeah, most definitely. But, well, for us, that is about it. Huge, once again, thanks to our wonderful sponsors, ZQ Racing, Quantum Energy, Ubisoft, and Computer Alliance. And as well as that, a quick reminder that there will be an MVP prize for the ZQ Racing MVP. So the person winning that will be getting a very nice chair. But yeah, from us, that is it. Thank you all for joining us for this wonderful evening of more tactical siege. And we'll see you next week. Take it easy and stay safe.
Bye.
Founded before the 5th Corporate War, Mute Tower represents the voice for independence in the city.
Defense units activated. Attackers are inbound. Servers targeted. Mute must be eliminated. One defender remains operational. Security suspended.
You should know better than to write me off. Consider this a teaching moment.